Since the presidency of Donald Trump, Greenland occasionally made headlines, often with bold claims that the U.S. wanted to buy it. Sounds strange, right? But behind this seemingly absurd idea lies a fascinating story of geopolitics, natural resources, and strategic ambition. Before we dive into the Trump wants to buy Greenland saga, let's first understand what Greenland is and why the world is suddenly so interested in it. Greenland is the largest island on Earth, located in the northeastern part of North America, stretching into the Arctic Circle. It faces the Atlantic Ocean to the east and shares a maritime border with Canada to the west. While geographically North American, Greenland is culturally and politically tied to Europe, particularly Denmark. Greenland is an autonomous territory within the Kingdom of Denmark. Although Denmark handles its foreign affairs and defense, Greenland has its own government, parliament, and legal system. In 2009, a major autonomy law granted Greenland more control, especially over its natural resources. With a population of around 56,000, as of 2024, most are Inuit, Kalaaleq, alongside some Danish settlers. The official language is Greenlandic, but Danish and English are also commonly spoken. Fishing, hunting, and Arctic traditions are still core parts of Greenlandic life, infused with European influences. Over 80% of Greenland is covered by ice. Its harsh Arctic climate means only the coastal areas are habitable. It's home to polar bears, musk oxen, seals, and other Arctic wildlife. But climate change is melting Greenland's glaciers at alarming rates, a key factor in rising global sea levels. Greenland's economy mainly depends on fishing, especially cod and shrimp exports, but it's also rich in rare earth elements, uranium, oil, and gas, drawing attention from global powers. Tourism is growing too, attracting explorers and scientists eager to experience the Arctic frontier. Greenland's location makes it a geopolitical hotspot. The U.S. operates Thule Air Base, a critical site for missile warning and Arctic surveillance. In recent years, the U.S., China, and the EU have all shown interest in Greenland, not just for resources, but for strategic dominance in the Arctic. As early as 2500 BC, Greenland was home to the Sakak and Dorset cultures, ancient peoples who crossed from North America, surviving the brutal Arctic environment with ingenuity and resilience. By around 1200 AD, the Thule people arrived, mastering the art of living in extreme cold. These were the ancestors of today's Greenlandic Inuit, and their descendants still call Greenland home. Fast forward to around 980 AD. A legendary Norse explorer, Eric the Red, was exiled from Iceland for manslaughter. Forced to sail west, he stumbled upon Greenland's rugged coast, and in a stroke of marketing genius, he named it Greenland, hoping the promising name would lure settlers despite its icy reality. Norse colonists founded two main settlements, Eastern and Western. For centuries, they farmed, hunted, and traded, until around the 15th century when they mysteriously vanished. Historians suggest the collapse was caused by a combination of climate cooling, conflict with the Inuit, and isolation from Europe. Greenland faded from European attention until 1721, when Danish missionary Hans Egede arrived, aiming to convert the local Inuit and reconnect with the Norse descendants, though by then none remained. Over the next 2 centuries, Denmark gradually tightened its grip on the island, formalizing Greenland as a colonial territory by the late 1800s.
Shattering the hard-won peace of centuries, the Nazi hordes violated our borders in the early morning hours of April 9, 1940.
During World War II, the world's attention returned to Greenland, this time for strategic reasons. When Nazi Germany occupied Denmark, the United States stepped in to defend the island, establishing military bases and weather stations to protect North Atlantic shipping lanes. After the war, Denmark regained control, and in 1953, Greenland was formally incorporated as a Danish province, but the winds of change were blowing. In 1979, Greenland took its first step toward self-governance, gaining home rule. By 2009, that autonomy expanded, granting Greenland control over its natural resources and more authority in local governance. Today, While still officially part of the Kingdom of Denmark, Greenland is slowly charting its own course toward full independence. In 2019, the world was caught off guard by one of the most unusual headlines in modern geopolitics. President Donald Trump wanted to buy Greenland.
We need Greenland, very importantly, for international security. We have to have Greenland.
Denmark's Prime Minister, Mette Frederiksen, didn't hold back. She called the idea, quote, absurd. Greenland's government made it even clearer. We are not for sale. We belong to Greenland's people.
When you ask our businesses to invest in the US, they do. When you ask us to spend more on defense, we do. And when you ask of us to strengthen security in the Arctic, we are on the same page. But when you demand to take over a part of the kingdoms of Denmark territory, when we are met by pressure and by threats from our closest ally, what are we to believe in about the country that we have admired for so many years? The country that, if any, have stood up for others' freedom. You know us, you know what we stand for, and you know that we don't give in. This is not only about Greenland or Denmark. This is about the world order that we have built together across the Atlantic over generations. You cannot annex another country, not even with an argument about international security. Talking about security, then there is a lot that we and you can do. If you want to be more present in Greenland, Greenland and Denmark is ready. And if you would like to strengthen the security in the Arctic, just like us, then let us do it together.
This is what Danish lawmaker Anders Vistisen said during a meeting of the European Parliament, went viral last month after asking Donald Trump to F it off.
Dear President Trump, listen very carefully. Greenland has been part of the Danish kingdom for 800 years. It's an integrated part of our country. It is not for sale. Let me put it in words you might understand. Mr. Trump, f*** off.
If the translation was correct, the term you used is not allowed in this house.
Greenland is more than just snow and ice. It's sitting on a treasure chest of untapped minerals that could power the modern world. First up, rare earth elements. These are the metals behind modern technology, from wind turbines and electric vehicles to smartphones and advanced military equipment. Rare earths are critical for the global shift toward green energy and high-tech industries. Greenland has some of the world's richest and least exploited rare earth deposits, especially in the southern Gardar province. And here's the kicker. Right now, China dominates the global supply of rare earths. Superpowers like the US want alternatives, and Greenland could be the answer. Next, graphite. Greenland holds significant graphite resources which are essential for making electric vehicle batteries and steel. As the world races to electrify transportation, the demand for graphite is skyrocketing, and Greenland's high-purity graphite could become a strategic gold mine. And it doesn't stop there. Greenland's Rocky Mountains are also rich in copper, nickel, and zinc. Copper is essential for electrical wiring and renewable energy systems. Nickel is critical for batteries and stainless steel. Zinc is vital for corrosion protection and construction. These are the raw materials that fuel modern infrastructure and green technology. And here's why superpowers are watching. The global demand for critical minerals is set to quadruple by 2040, according to energy experts. If the world is going to switch to green energy, we're going to need a lot of these minerals. Greenland could become the next frontier for securing these vital resources. Greenland is home to Thule Air Base, a key U.S. military installation for missile detection and early warning systems. Greenland sits at the crossroads of the Arctic and the North Atlantic, perfectly positioned for military, trade, and surveillance. And as climate change melts the Arctic ice, new shipping lanes are opening. The northern sea route passing through the Arctic could one day shorten travel times between Asia, Europe, and North America by weeks. Whoever controls Greenland controls a future highway for global trade. But the US isn't the only country eyeing Greenland. China, the world's rising superpower, has long had its own plans. China refers to itself as a near-Arctic state. While that title isn't official, it reveals Beijing's ambitions. China sees Greenland as a treasure chest, especially for rare earth minerals. These elements are crucial for everything from electric vehicles to military radar systems, and Greenland's soil is packed with them. One project in particular, the Kvanefjeld mine, attracted huge Chinese investment interest through companies like Shenghe Resources. If developed, the mine could supply a large chunk of the world's rare earth demand. But the West wasn't comfortable with that. China already dominates the global rare earth market. If it gained control over Greenland's deposits too, the world's dependency on Chinese technology and materials would only deepen. Beyond mining, China is also interested in Greenland's ports. As Arctic ice thaws, the dream of controlling future shipping routes becomes real. Greenland's deep-water harbors could one day serve as critical stops for Chinese cargo vessels, or even military ships. Though China's Arctic efforts are officially scientific and commercial, Western intelligence agencies warn that these moves could lay the groundwork for military use in the future. And then there's Russia. Unlike China, Russia's focus on Greenland is not economic, but military and geopolitical. Russia has spent the past decade rebuilding its Arctic military bases, deploying submarines, nuclear bombers, and advanced air defenses across the Arctic. For Moscow, Greenland is part of NATO's northern flank, a critical piece of the puzzle in any potential Arctic conflict. If the US or NATO tightens control over Greenland, it could limit Russia's ability to maneuver in the Arctic and project power beyond its borders. Greenland is more than an island. It's a chessboard for the 21st century. Behind the scenes, China, Russia, and the United States are all investing in Arctic research, mining, shipping, and military infrastructure. While the world focuses on hot conflicts elsewhere, these icy territories are becoming the silent front line for global power competition. So, could the United States actually buy Greenland? The short answer? Highly unlikely. Greenland is an autonomous territory governed by Denmark, and both the Danish government and the people of Greenland have firmly rejected the idea of selling their homeland. But the real story isn't about buying land. It's about securing influence. When Donald Trump floated the idea of buying Greenland in 2019, many laughed. But behind the headlines, it revealed just how strategically important Greenland has become for Washington. Instead of buying, the U.S. has taken a more modern approach, strengthening military cooperation with Denmark and Greenland, expanding its Arctic military base at Thule Air Base, offering economic aid packages and investment in Greenland's infrastructure, and quietly blocking Chinese attempts to invest in Greenland's mining and port projects. This is how modern geopolitics works. You don't need to own the land to control its future. In the years ahead, Greenland will remain a key piece on the Arctic chessboard, caught between the ambitions of the US, China, and Russia. And no, the idea of buying Greenland might be off the table, but securing its loyalty and influence, that game is still very much on. So the next time you see Greenland on a map, don't think of it as just a frozen wasteland. Think of it as a vault of natural resources, a strategic radar outpost, and a future shipping hub, one that could shape the global balance of power. The superpowers know this. The question is, will the world be ready when the ice melts? Thanks for watching. If you enjoy learning about hidden power moves, economy, and global strategy, hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell. I'll see you in the next video.